The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, Custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable, custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderful author and a teacher out of Davis, California. She's wrote the book called The Conscious Teacher, and it's all about basically just a unique way of teaching. And she's been doing it for about 27 years as well, too. It's all about understanding and accomplishing, and just has a completely unique, different approach, which is conscious approach to teaching and learning. And she's also a local educator in the Davis, California area with ALS. We'll talk more about that. We'll also talk about her book, The Conscious Teacher, available on Amazon. And she's been doing this for 27 years and brings up a lot of experience. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the beautiful studios in California, ladies and gentlemen, author and teacher, Deborah Poulos. Deborah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Mike. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. My voice is a little bit impaired by my ALS, but I hope your listeners and you can understand me.
Mm-hmm. And we stand you perfect, Deborah, as well, too. And before we get in your book, tell us more about your ALS and how to make everyone aware.
Well, ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, is a muscular impairment of the involuntary and the voluntary muscles, and it eventually leads to suffocation due to the diaphragm stopping its work on the lungs. And I was diagnosed in 2006, so for me it's progressing slowly. I've beaten the odds. I've been in a wheelchair full-time since 2013. I have the caregivers who come 3 times a day to transfer me to and from the toilet. I have to be fed by my husband or helper. Sorry if these are too intimate details, although it has impaired my hands and fingers. I am still able to type. I've done all the writing for this book on my laptop, and I'm grateful for all that I can do, and don't bemoan what I can't do. So despite these challenges I face, I live a full and rich life.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like you have a really good, rich life as well, too, and 27 years in teaching as well, too. And before we talk about your book, The Conscious Teacher, tell us how you first got started in teaching, Deborah.
Well, my first year of teaching was in a 3rd grade classroom in 1967. I was inspired by my difficulties learning to read all through elementary school. I wanted to teach in ways that would save children from suffering as I had. My family moved after the first few days of 1st grade from California, where they hadn't begun teaching reading, to Tennessee, where they were already reading, and no one had bothered to assess what I needed to make a smooth transition. I was seated on the floor in a line of other children, like birds on a wire in front of the big red storybook. When it came to be my turn, I was expected to read. Well, I was able to memorize some of the picture words like house, bicycle, dog, spot, Dick and Jane, but there were many other words I had no idea how to figure out. I didn't know what it meant to sound out words, as nobody had taught it. And eventually, after failing so much, I adopted an avoidance strategy just to protect myself from trying and failing all the time. Well, that strategy was successful until the beginning of 7th grade English, and the teacher brought in Time magazine and gave everyone in the class the same copy. He said, everybody is going to read a paragraph or two, and we're going to talk about what it means. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to be found out as a failure in front of all these potential new friends. I was mortified. Of course, I sat in the back of the class because I wanted to hide. So I listened intently and became riveted to every word I heard and saw. I understood more and more as how the words were sounded out. I tracked the paragraphs and read ahead and ahead until I had a chance to figure out which paragraphs would be mine, and I practiced them over and over. Then when my name was called, I took a deep breath, read it steadily, calmly as if it was no big deal. I completed it without error and breathed a huge sigh of relief. And I know it sounds crazy, but it made me realize I could learn to read. This experience flipped the switch and sent me on my way to becoming a reader and an excellent student. From there, I worked at it instead of avoiding it. I was never a fast reader. I was a plodding one. After high school, I went on to the University of California at Davis, earning a BA in English, and here I am writing a book.
Mm-hmm. And that's amazing as well, too. And what was that precise moment that influenced you into becoming a teacher as a career?
Oh, my. Well, I can't tell you the precise moment, but when I decided to become a teacher, I knew I would teach in ways that would save children from experiencing the failures I had had as a child. My own personal experiences as a child were the best teacher training I could have had. I taught grades 1 through 6, but most of my experience was in the intermediate grades, including 8 years in the self-contained gifted class. I retired after 27 years when I was first diagnosed with a voluntary muscle illness that was already making it difficult for me to walk.
Mm-hmm. And how did you first detect that you had ALS? What was that first moment that you felt that you started getting ALS?
Well, I didn't feel it. I just had this voluntary muscle illness, but I continued to be tested when I went for my annual neurological test, and it was in 2006 when they did that test that they discovered it was ALS.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And also, we'll talk more about that as well, too, along with your latest book, The Conscious Teacher. But first, listening to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with author and teacher of 27 years, Deborah Poulos of The Conscious Teacher here on the Mike Wagner Show. And tell us more about your latest book, The Conscious Teacher, and why the name, Deborah.
Okay, well, now, Mike, before I do that, I have to say you talk so fast, I didn't get the name of your podcast or whatever you said, something Sonicquist.
Oh, it's the Mike Wagner Show, and Sonic Web Studios is my sponsor. So I just want to tell you that, we take breaks. So I do apologize. I'll make a better effort to slow down. Okay.
Not a problem, but would spell Sonicquest for me.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right, and let's talk about your latest book, The Conscious Teacher, and why the name.
Okay. Well, The Conscious Teacher is an up-close and personal look at how a truly conscious teacher can help all students reach their full potential. I describe how I get to know students by reading through each cumulative record file before the first day of school. I learn about any issues they have with learning, their family situations, and their report cards from earlier years. And memorize their names with their photos so that I can welcome each one by name on the first day of school. This is a powerful tool that tells each student that I think they are important. I organize the seating chart that puts students who need help next to students who can help them. I put students with behavior issues near the front of the class next to well-behaved students who can buffer them. Students create a behavior management system with consequences if the standards are not met, and they sign it. I set up a silent signal so that when a student misbehaves, they take a time out outside the classroom, coming back in when they're in control of their behavior. In this way, I don't reward bad behavior with attention. It's the only way to extinguish bad behavior. I teach students the 5-finger rule so they can choose books at their reading level. The whole class operates as a team, and I treat all students with dignity and respect, no matter what. All of these basic steps are so important to creating a classroom that works for every child. Now, I named it the conscious teacher because being truly conscious enables one to have an awareness, subjectivity, the ability to experience or to feel, to have a sense of self. These qualities enable a person to be confident about her perception in the realm of teaching rather than simply following rules learned from textbooks and a master teacher. I developed confidence to evaluate for myself what are the best approaches for my teaching, what works for me, through consciously making choices based on my everyday experience. Instead of following standard norms, I want teachers to self-critically think and consider what to do. To be truly effective teacher, a person must consciously think beyond what she has been taught. She must truly, consciously be conscious of a multitude of factors that go into knowing each child to motivate and educate him. Teachers must be consciously approaching each student with strategies individualized to meet each one's unique needs. In the end, I learned that truly effective teaching is an ongoing process of actively thinking about what is best for each student and working with each one to bring out his or her full potential, carefully including new effective approaches and ideas that have evolved from my experiences. I am always thinking about and improving upon the systems and techniques I'm developing in the classroom. Constant work in progress that calls for consciously observing and applying what works best. Thus the title, The Conscious Teacher.
It sounds like it's a really good idea with the conscious teacher, and you went over the things, what it takes to be an effective and conscious teacher, and what else would the difference would between a traditional teacher and effective and conscious teacher? What difference do you see?
Well, the only thing I would add to what I've already said is that I believe traditional teachers followed the pedagogy they were taught in teacher ed and student teaching. Traditional teachers go through the motions of applying a standard way of teaching without truly consciously thinking about and applying what is best for each child in their care. Now, I know there are a lot of other teachers, most teachers are also really digging into this, but I think many teachers just do go through the motions and they don't really dig into it.
Mm-hmm. And what was the writing like? What was the writing like for you when it came to the book?
Well, it was easy because it was all in my head. It wasn't like I had to do any research or anything. I just sat at my computer and typed into my computer everything right out of my head, and pretty much that's what we edited, and that's the book. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a difficult process other than my fingers that don't work so fast.
Well, I was thinking, too, that you could also apply to voice as well, too, but I like your style on how you wrote the book, and we'll talk a little bit about the book and about, wrapping up with ALS, but first, you're listening to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. It's powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off of your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can also check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with author and teacher Deborah Poulos of The Conscious Teacher here on The Mike Wagner Show. Deborah has taught over 27 years of being an effective and conscious teacher, and she's also diagnosed with ALS. And how do you make everyone aware of ALS, and how can people help?
Well, I think I pretty much explained how ALS has affected me, and I would just add that I was reading my memoir in my memoir writing group, and I was telling about my experience as a student and how that influenced me as a teacher. and the group stopped me and they said, "Debbie, this is too important to be just in your memoirs. You need to stop and write this in a book for everyone to read before it's too late." And I stopped and I thought, oh my gosh, I was excited to hear them be so interested in my writing a book. But their saying before it was too late was right on target and gave me pause. And I realized because of the ALS, I need to stop right then and get going.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still going strong, even now it's been 14 years since my diagnosis.
Uh-huh. Okay. And also, too, besides a conscious teacher, what can we expect from you in 2020 and beyond? Do you have another book that we'll be expecting from you very soon?
Oh, my goodness. Well, interesting you should ask. I'm working on a book now called, Homeschooling During COVID and Beyond.
Oh, wow.
And it's really focused on teaching parents what they need to do with their kids at home. But I can tell you that the subtitle of the book is What All Teachers and Engaged Parents Need to Know to Be More Effective. And almost every chapter has notes for parents. So in this time of COVID, my conscious teacher would be a big help to parents to put your child in charge. Children should be as autonomous as possible. Stay calm no matter what. You and your behavior are the role model for your children. Staying calm in the face of stress is a choice. You must decide to stay calm as the role model for your child. Parents will find tips on managing behavior, helping to organize your child's approach to doing schoolwork at home, as well as other ideas to help in each subject area and much more.
Okay. And where can they purchase a book, The Conscious Teacher?
Oh, it's on Amazon, of course, and Barnes and Noble.
Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Okay, just a couple more minutes with author Deborah Poulos of The Conscious Teacher here on the Mike Wagner Show. A couple more things. You've been fantastic. Love to have you back on sometime 2020 and beyond. Who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Well, as I already said, my own struggles in school were a huge influence on my teaching. I knew how important it was to meet each student at her level, to pull up if she were working below grade level, or push up if she could do above grade level work. It's so important to getting children to be self-motivated, the engines of their own learning. This is what I worked on in digging into getting to really know each student.
Mm-hmm. And what is the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Well, I can say that my book describes a system that gets results. Year after year, students came back to tell me how much being in my class prepared them for later grades, college, and careers. They said it meant so much that I truly cared about them. Readers will learn how important it is to really get to know each child. I can't emphasize this enough. It takes a lot of time and energy, but it is worth it. It gets results. Now, let me just share. I want to share a special memory with you. One of my most exciting things I did with my fourth graders was to perform Shakespeare plays. In different years, they did Hamlet, Macbeth, Julius Caesar, A Midsummer Night's Dream, and King Lear. I describe in detail in the book how we did this. They amazed me, but more importantly, they amazed themselves. It's just amazing what kids can do if we really dig in and help them, support them, and push them.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's amazing, or as Bruce would say here in that class, a tu, Brute?
A what?
I was just thinking of the line from Julius Caesar. They would say, a tu, Brute. I was just thinking he could say that right now.
Yes, and that would be in Julius Caesar, indeed. A tu, Brute.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of my favorites as well, too. And once again, Deborah Poulos, author of The Conscious Teacher here on the Mike Wagner Show, a very big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you on soon. And just a couple more things. Once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? And where can people purchase your book?
Well, you can contact me by my email address, which is DN as in Nichols, Poulos, POULOS, at URCAD as in dog, .org. And I have a website which is Deborah Nichols Poulos .github, GITHUB, and I think you already spelled my name for your listeners.
Mm-hmm.
It's POULOS. Nichols is spelled NICHOLS, and Deborah is spelled DEBORAH. And the book is available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon. And what else did you ask me?
I think we pretty much covered it, and I wasn't sure if you gave the website. That's what I was asking about.
Oh, yeah. Well, the website is DeborahNicholsPoulos.github.
That's a very good one. Once again, Deborah, a very big thank you for your time. You've been very fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor. Keep us up to date. We'd love to have you back on 2020 and beyond. You've been great.
Thank you so much, Mike. It's been a thrill for me. I appreciate you having me on.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites, websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.